Hello friends, today we will make a dulce de leche mocha cake. Layers of chocolate cake filled with dulce de leche, covered in dulce de leche mocha Swiss meringue buttercream and topped with a chocolate ganache. This cake is so delicious and it was my birthday cake this year. Enjoy the video. Start by preheating the oven to 350 Fahrenheit. Then butter 4 6-inch cake pans and place a parchment paper circle in the bottom of the pans, then butter the parchment. You can also use spray oil instead, or you can butter and flour the pans instead. Now let's make the cake batter. Start by creaming the butter at medium-high speed for about 1 minute. Over the wet mixture. You can either sift the ingredients before and set them aside and then just pour them over the batter at this point, or you can just sift them right into the batter. Here I'm sifting some all-purpose flour and some cocoa powder. Then add baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Now we're going to mix the dry ingredients with the batter, and once the batter is incorporated, pour hot coffee in the bowl and whisk until combined. And if you don't want to use coffee, you can use hot water instead. Heated oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Remove the cakes from the oven once the toothpick comes out clean. Once you remove the cakes from the oven, wait 10 minutes and then flip the cakes onto a sheet pan or a cooling rack to let the cakes cool. And then at this point, I like to put my cakes in the fridge to let them firm up to make it easier to assemble and decorate the cake. To make the dulce de leche mocha Swiss meringue buttercream, we're gonna start by melting the chocolate in a small bowl by microwaving it for 15-second intervals and stirring in between. And then you're gonna let the chocolate cool until it's no longer warm. Meanwhile, place a bowl over a pan with barely simmering water. Then start by whisking the sugar and the egg whites over the double boiler until they reach the temperature of 140 Fahrenheit. Basically, you're just looking to melt the sugar and also to make it so the egg whites are in a safe temperature to be consumed. Once you achieve that temperature, transfer the syrup to the mixer bowl. And then whip with the whisk attachment until the mixture reaches stiff. Now those are the stiff peaks we're looking for. Once the peaks are stiff, start adding butter, 1 slab at a time. The butter should be slightly softened. The butter shouldn't be cold, but it shouldn't be too warm. After you're done adding the butter, you should continue to whip until the buttercream reaches a thick and frosting consistency. If your buttercream is too soupy and it's not becoming a firm cream, that means that either the butter was too soft when you added it, or you didn't reach stiff peaks with the meringue. If the case is that you didn't reach the stiff peaks with the meringue, there's not much we can do at this point. But if the case is that the butter was too soft, then you can just place the bowl with the buttercream in the freezer for like 5 minutes and then continue to whip after that and try to see if it comes to a thick, creamy consistency. So once the buttercream has formed, you can add the dulce de leche to the bowl, and you can also add the melted cooled down chocolate and the espresso powder, and then beat for another minute or until completely incorporated. You may need to scrape the bowl in between to make sure that all ingredients are getting incorporated together. Place some buttercream in a piping bag fitted with a round tip, and we're gonna pipe a ring of frosting around the edges of a cake layer. And then we'll place the dulce de leche in a piping bag as well, or you can just use a spoon to do this, and fill the middle with dulce de leche. Then place another cake layer on top and repeat this, frosting on the outside and dulce de leche in the middle. About the dulce de leche, you can use store-bought or you can make your own. On my blog, I explain how to make your own dulce de leche at home. It's very easy. All you need is a can of condensed milk. The link for my blog will be on the description below. Make sure to use a spatula to spread the dulce de leche around nice and evenly. Place the final cake layer on top, and now we're going to cover the cake with a thin layer of frosting. This is called crumb coating the cake. We do this to seal the crumbs in so that they don't show on the final frosting layer. Layer. You can apply a thick layer of frosting and just use a bench scraper or the offset spatula to smooth it out. Here I'm attaching to the bottom of the cake mini crisp pearls. They can be found online. I can link below the place where I bought mine. Now place the cake back in the fridge for at least an hour because the cake needs to be really cold before we do the ganache drip. And speaking of ganache, this is how we make the ganache. Pour hot heavy cream over the chocolate and whisk gently to mix the heavy cream and the chocolate until all the chocolate melts and the mixture is smooth without any chocolate lumps. For the ganache to be perfect for the drip, it needs to be at room temperature. You're looking for the perfect dripping consistency, not too cold down but not too warm either. You can test this by pouring one drop down the side of a bowl or on the back of the cake and watch how the drop falls. If it takes forever to roll down the side of the bowl of the cake, or if it doesn't even roll down the side of the bowl of the cake, then the ganache might be too hard. In this case, you can place it in the microwave for just a few seconds, like 1 or 2 seconds, stir and test again, and then repeat until the drop of ganache is flowing slowly but effortlessly down the side of the cake. It just drips a few inches down and then stops. And then you can also pipe the ganache on top of the cake. You can also use a spoon to do this. You don't need to do this with the piping bag. And then you can either wait for the ganache to smooth out, or you can use a spatula to smooth the ganache. And then back in the fridge it goes. Now I'm just piping a dulce de leche drizzle on top of the cake. And I'm going to top with some crisp pearls. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. This cake was so delicious. It had the perfect taste of coffee, chocolate, and dulce de leche. It was an amazing combination. I'm so happy I had this for my birthday cake this year. And check out my blog for the full recipe, and check out my blog for other cake recipes too. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you like my channel, if you like to see more recipes. Thank you. Bye.